Okay, so plan was for this channel, I was going to eventually branch out to movies and TV because they're my other two passions. But there's a lot of games that I still have to play before I can slow it down to branch out officially. So it's not going to be for a while. I'm just doing this because it's a special occasion, the Oscars, and I have nearly completed my first Oscars death race, which is this challenge on Reddit where you watch every single movie nominated, all 50 movies, regardless of category, even if it's just for a song, you gotta watch it to complete the challenge. And I'm at 48 movies right now. I have two more to go. Jurassic Park, no, Jurassic World Rebirth, and Kokuho, the Japanese film. They're both really long, but it's still early. I'm going to be able to finish it by the time the Oscars start, but I just wanted to get this video out as soon as possible because it's already super delayed. I really wanted to do this sooner. I started the death race itself really late in the game. I think it was like about 5 days ago when I discovered it. So if I hadn't already watched a sizable chunk of movies beforehand, I would not have been able to complete this challenge because I found it super late. But here we are at 48 out of 50. It was like a lot of documentaries. I've only seen The Perfect Neighbor before I started this challenge, so I was just watching back-to-back documentaries for a while. And yeah, so it's gonna be super quick. I'm going to do my ballot. I don't know if this counts towards anything other than, your own personal interest, like for your own records, I guess. And that's why I'm making this video. Obviously, no one's gonna watch it now, but maybe in the future, just to have this on record because it's my first time doing this challenge, so I thought it's pretty special. So, the first one is Best Picture. I thought I should save that one for last, so I'm gonna start at the very bottom here. I'm just gonna work my way through. It's really nice doing these ballots because I've actually seen all these movies, well, almost all of them, and I've completed most of the categories. So, yeah, Kokuho is makeup and hairstyling, while Rebirth is in visual effects. So that's two categories, unfortunately. But I already can tell you now that I'm not going to vote for either of those in their respective categories. Even after I watched the movies, I know I'm gonna stick to what I already have in my head. So, without further ado, start with best documentary short. I guess it's at the bottom because maybe it's the least important to them. Vanity Fair, I don't know, but no, a lot of these movies, these documentaries, every single one is, well, not every single one. Perfectly Strangeness is just about three donkeys wandering a Chilean desert and they stumble across a observatory, and a lot of people are hating on this one on Reddit. I thought it was fine, but it's definitely not an essential movie. There's no message, there's no statement, there's no narration, nothing. It's just 50 minutes of three donkeys wandering. No rhyme or reason or to it or anything. It's beautifully shot, but that's really about it. I'm gonna go through each of these movies that I've seen briefly as I vote. I already talked about this one. Other than that, these are all about really important events, current events. So yeah, let's see. I guess I will just start with my vote. So this is about an abortion clinic and how the nurses have to deal with protesters outside of the facility, as well as keeping that facility running. And it's really good. The only complaint I had, which kind of goes for all these, is that it's too short. I guess the topic that they're covering, the subject, warrants a longer film. It's like, well, my vote is gonna go to All the Empty Rooms, which is about a journalist. I forgot his name, but he was really famous back in the day. His story, his latest story, well, the one that's depicted in this movie is focuses on the rooms of victims of school shootings, children, and yeah, it was good. This one got me, like, my eyes were starting to water. It was really sad because he would go through all these rooms, these children's rooms that were mostly untouched by their parents after they lost, you know, their child to a tragic shooting. And yeah, I think that this one is pretty much, yeah, this is the best one out of the ones I've seen. Well, all of them. Yeah, Devil's Busy was. I thought that it could have been longer. I was like, thing about all the empty rooms is the guy is taking a bunch of pictures for different rooms, and he states at the beginning that he has three rooms left, or I think it was like a text or something on the screen saying that there's three more left. So they kind of definitively stated that. So you kind of have an expectation, you can count how many rooms, one, two, three. And I thought that was a good thing. That was a good editing decision, to state that at the beginning that there's going to be a definite three rooms so that you can expect it, to end in a timely fashion, 30 minutes. These are all around 30 minutes. This one's 15 minutes, like I mentioned earlier. I'm surprised how close they are though. I'm guessing people just randomly picked because I know a lot of people don't watch the documentaries. Um yeah. So I think that they just randomly selected it. But I think maybe it gets 26%, 34. These are the most popular ones. I think that the vote is gonna go to all empty rooms. I think yeah, this was a Netflix thing, production, I believe. So yeah, I think Netflix has a kind of a hold over the Oscars, and I think this one's definitely the most popular one because of it. I had not heard of any of these movies to be honest, but I think that this one's gonna be the one that wins. Um, and Armed Only with a Camera: Life and Death of Brent Renault. Renault, I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. Um, this one's about, the titular Brent Renault. He was also a journalist, a photographer, documents a lot of stuff. Well, he documented a lot of stuff. He's no longer with us. And this is about him documenting war zones basically. Well, basically anything really. But a lot of them were war zones, and unfortunately he died covering the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Yeah, he got killed by Russian soldiers just for being there, and it was tragic. This was, I don't know. I think I prefer Devil's Busy over this one. This one's also, the problem is it's too short. I think they cram a bunch of stuff. Like, um, I don't know. I was kind of confused watching this movie because, well, the whole point of Brent's mission is basically to capture, go on the front lines basically of these wars and capture everything that's happening to like civilians, casualties and stuff. A lot of things that most journalists wouldn't dare to document because of how risky it is. I was wondering why we were seeing all the footage now. I don't know if this footage appeared before. I'm not sure, but he takes they show a bunch of footage of him in different events over the years. So I gotta look into that. Like if this footage is pre-existing, like they were actually officially released before, because it felt like, I don't know, we were seeing it for the first time. I was wondering why, but yeah. But this one is definitely, I think it was better for its runtime than The Devil Was Busy. I might prefer this one more though. I don't know why, but yeah. Children No More, I think it was the second weakest, simply because it really didn't have a lot to say. I don't know. It kind of feels wrong saying that to be honest, because it covers an important topic. It's about a group of silent protesters who are protesting Israel's attack on civilians and stuff, and all these children who are unfortunately killed at the hands of the Israeli army. And they basically go into conflict with those who are calling for the release of Israeli hostages from Gaza, because they think that the protesters who are protesting the deaths of actual children are wrong for doing so, simply because they are not Israeli, which is really crazy. Um, I don't know. The documentary, the producers didn't really have much to say on the matter. It doesn't really go anywhere. So, but I think it's really important that they showcased these protests because I wasn't really aware that they were happening. So yeah. So all the empty rooms. All right, I gotta go through these faster because I have two more movies to finish. All right, live action short. This one's kind of an easy one. I'm gonna immediately go. This is the longest one. Two people exchanging saliva. It is a quirky. Well, I won't say quirky, more like a surreal, like Lorgos type of movie depicting a dystopia where kissing is strictly forbidden and punishable by death, basically. And yeah, that's really the movie. Um, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to get into it that deeply. Also, because I don't really have that much time. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's definitely my favorite. Oh my god, this one's 49%. I don't think that. Um, I think that the winner's gonna go to The Singers because it's a Netflix movie. That's really all I have to say. I think just the one that has the most coverage. I'm kind of surprised that this has 49%. Looks like a lot of people did watch the live action shorts. This is about a teenager who I guess kicks his ball into the yard of this old lady and then befriends her. And yeah, I don't want to go into spoilers. This one I kind of had an issue with. It was a bit too sentimental for my tastes. You know, it's a little schmaltzy, and I think that it was too short. You know, this would have worked better as a feature for me because we could see the relationship between the teenager and this old lady develop more fully so that the emotional moments would be more earned, I guess. And yeah, this was even like not even a longer short film. This one, I think the Academy's rules that is that your short film has to be less than 40 minutes or 40 and under, or it's gonna be considered a actual feature film. So this one's like 36 minutes. It was like cutting it kind of close. This one was really short, so I don't know why they could have fleshed it out more, the relationship. That's all I had to say about that. But you're staying. I didn't know until after watching this, but I think that I guess Levinson is actually Barry Levinson's son, which is crazy because I looked it up and there's really nothing about him. This is a debut, I believe, and it's pretty obvious it's a debut. You can tell just by watching it. This was the weakest one for me, probably. I don't know. I thought the plot had kind of a bit of holes, but just to summarize, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's about a butcher who works in an Israeli market, and he is accused by his coworker and his supervisor for taking down posters of hostages in the break room, and yeah, basically he has to deny it and prove his innocence and stuff. And it's just, I don't know. This one didn't really click for me. That's all I have to say. Jane Austen's period drama. I'm surprised that this one's nominated. It's not the worst one out of the list, but it's definitely, it feels like a high production version of a video you would find on YouTube. It's like a YouTube comedy short, you know, something you just click while you're doom scrolling. It is pretty funny though, but a lot of people on Reddit were saying they didn't really like it because it felt like an SNL skit, which is not really a criticism for me. I thought it was funny, so it worked. Singers. This was actually the only one I've seen before I started this challenge. I just watched it because it was on Netflix. Now, I happened to be on Netflix at the time. It's about a bunch of bar regulars who put together a singing competition, see who wins. I think it was like $100 or something, and a lot of feelings resurface because these are older guys. They've been through some shit, so it's a good movie though. I like it. I think it's gonna win because it's Netflix, but I want this to win. Best animated short. This one's easy for me. I'm gonna pick Butterfly. Oh, looks like Retirement Plan. It's at 11%. This one's actually a lot of people were saying this was good, but I guess this just comes down to the fact that not a lot of people watch these shorts, so they just picked a random one. And I'm actually surprised. I thought this was gonna be one of the least popular out of the bunch, but the Girl Cry Pearls. This one has uh, a unique animated animated style. I think it's claymation. I don't know if it's claymation or 3D printed. I gotta look back at that to remember. I think it was clay, but it's really cool. The design might freak people out a little bit. The design of the characters, I thought it was really nice. I would love to see a full feature film in this style. I don't know if the directors have done that in the past, but this one's good. But my pick goes to Butterfly because of the way it does its storytelling and stuff. Um, and the animation is really cool. It's really raw. I love it. The transitions from scene to scene is so seamlessly done. The Girl Cry Pearls tells a really good story, but I guess I like the storytelling in Butterfly better. Although I think my second pick will actually go to Retirement Plan. Um, yeah, you can watch this on YouTube, I believe. Yeah, I watched this on YouTube. A lot of these were available on YouTube because they want people to watch that to build up the hype. Um, Forever Green is like a Disney short film. It isn't Disney officially because if it was, that would be the obvious winner in the Academy's eyes. Um, but I think former Disney animators came to work on this. It is good, but not essential. I thought it was a little bit sentimental as well, like on the Dorothy movie. Yeah, and I feel like it's been done before. I did really like the music in in this one though. I feel like that's not gonna be something that people talk about a lot, but the music was really good and the animation was really good as well. Three Sisters is probably the least popular out of the bunch, or already has 9%. This one I know is not gonna click for a lot of people. It is definitely a unique one in terms of both storytelling and animation. The animation isn't the prettiest looking, but it's a comedy about three sisters. Obviously, it's quirky and I thought it was pretty funny. Um, I think my least favorite out of the bunch is actually gonna go to Forever Green, but yeah, none of them are terrible. Best visual effects. So, well, I did vote, right? Yeah, I gotta make sure I'm voting here. All right, I can tell you, it's gonna go to Avatar. This is obviously gonna be the winner. I don't think there's gonna be. It's not a competition to be honest. Although all these movies had good visual effects, I've not seen Jurassic World Rebirth, but I'm sure it has good quality effects. And yeah, this is the only one I haven't seen out of the bunch. It's one of the two I have left. I'm surprised Sinners got nominated. That's crazy, honestly. I mean, it was alright, but yeah, it's nothing too notable, I guess, compared to the rest of these. F1 visual effects. I thought they were pretty good. I don't know how much CGI was involved in the racing sequences, but I couldn't really tell, to be honest, where the CGI started and ended. So yeah, and same kind of goes for the Lost Bus. Well, obviously there's some moments where you can tell it was CGI, but I thought that the filmmakers did a well job trying to hide it. The way that the movie was shot. There's a lot of technical wizardry going on in this movie to ensure that everything looked as realistic as possible, and I thought that this nominee is definitely earned. It's surprising but earned. But yeah, the pick is gonna be Avatar. Should kind of talk about these other movies though. Well, F1 and Lost Bus because they're not. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna save F1 because that's gonna be in Best Picture. Lost Bus is only in this category. This is one of the more recent ones that I've seen. I saw yesterday actually. It is a. Well, I didn't even know what this movie was about going in. I thought it was well just based on the poster. I thought it was a speed type of movie, like an action thriller, but it's actually a drama of an event that actually happened, the 2018 California fires. And I thought it was pretty good. It's not like the best movie in the world. It's very formulaic in spots. I really didn't like the depiction of the main guy's family drama, which plays a major role in the story. I thought the dialogue was kind of eh. But once the actual event starts, the movie really gets good. And I wanted to give a special shout out to the lady who plays the bus boss, the dispatcher lady, who basically radios all of the bus drivers, the school bus drivers in the area. She was really good. That actress has been popping up in a lot of things I've been seeing in supporting roles. And yeah, I don't even know her name, but she's really good. All right. For best sound, this one's kind of a tricky one to be honest. I really don't always know what what the best movie for best sound is. I always usually get it wrong. Um, I don't know. Racing movies usually do get nominated and like music stuff. I think that Sinners is gonna sweep. So, although yeah, um, I should probably mention. It should go without saying, but I'm. I should remind you that I'm picking what I think should win rather than what is going to win. I think it's gonna go to Sinners because I think Sinners is gonna sweep. But I think that hold on, what do I like the best? Frankenstein? I don't know. F1 it was really good, the racing audio and stuff, but I think it's gonna have to go to Sinners to be honest. Um yeah, a lot of people picked F1, maybe because they think it's gonna win. I think I'm just gonna go with Sinners. Wait, let's see. Sirat. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I know there's a little thing there, accent there. I don't know if this is nominated for anything else, so maybe foreign language. I'm not sure, so I guess I'll talk about it here. It's the only one that's not nominated for another category. I mean, Best Picture. All these are nominated for Best Picture, so I can talk about them later. But this movie, it's really good. I liked it. It's not like the greatest thing ever in my opinion, but I appreciated how I guess unpredictable it was. There are two moments in this movie. I won't spoil it obviously, but they're super shocking. They kind of go against a drama's, typical story beats. It takes a left turn and it's crazy. That's all I got to say. It's really good. And I really like the music. I think that's why I got nominated for best sound. It's like rave music playing throughout the film. It's really cool. Yeah. Best production design. All right, we gotta get. This one's tricky. I do think Sinners again is gonna sweep, but what do I? I don't know. I think I gotta give this one to Frankenstein. I think this one has a chance of winning, a real shot of winning, just based on like the aesthetic, the craft. So yeah, I don't know which is actually gonna win though. Maybe Frankenstein. I think I'll give it to Frankenstein. Maybe it won't sweep Sinners. Maybe it will. Who knows? Best makeup and hairstyling. Yeah, Coco. Unfortunately, I haven't seen that yet. I gotta get onto that real quick. But I wasn't gonna vote for that one anyway. Mm, man, a lot of these are deserving. Maybe except for the Smashing Machine. Did this get nominated for another award? I'm not sure. I guess I'll talk about it. I literally just finished watching this one. I don't know about this. It was okay, the movie. I thought it was quite average. A lot of people were saying the same thing. I think it's because Benny Safdie, he wanted to keep the story as grounded and as true to real events as possible without taking any creative liberties that most biopic directors do in order to keep the audience entertained. You know, they gotta throw in all these plot points that didn't really happen or embellish certain things, make up certain events just to keep the engagement, you know? But Smashing Machine doesn't really do that. So I guess I'm just left wondering why they decided to tell this story other than to showcase The Rock's dramatic acting because he's been in a lot of comedy films, so we haven't really had a chance to see his dramatic acting chops, which are on fine display here. Other than that, yeah, I really did not know why they told the story. I thought it was gonna be a full biopic depicting like this guy's whole life, but it really only shows you 3 years of his life. I'm guessing it's his 3 most important years. I don't know. I thought it was just alright, I guess. I like the music though. Music is surprisingly tranquil for most of it. But I gotta give this one to Ugly Stepsister. Frankenstein is obviously gonna win, but I gotta give this one to this one. I think they did a good job. You know, that's really it. And oh yeah, I should probably mention, yeah, this one wasn't nominated for anything else. So, Ugly Stepsister is one of the earlier films that I've seen out of the nominees. Saw it long before even the shortlist was out for the nominations. It's really good. It's not. I can't recommend it to everyone because of its content. It's a lot of body horror going on here. It's not the easiest to watch, but I've really enjoyed it. Its take on the old Cinderella fable. It's really dark, darkly funny in moments, and truly horrifying in other moments. But yeah, I'm gonna give it to this one. Although I think Frankenstein is gonna win. Best casting. I don't know. I think this is actually gonna go to Marty Supreme, maybe because of how many non-professional actors were brought in for this movie and how well they all did. Although I forgot about Sinners. This is a hard. I think this is the first time casting has been part of the nominations. So yeah, this one's definitely a hard one. I'm gonna have to cross out Secret Agent. Probably Hamnet, although I think Gold definitely should get the first casting award. I don't know. I've seen her name pop up in so many things, but I do think that it's gonna come down to Sinners or Marty. Hmm. Well, this is my pick, so I'm gonna go with Marty, but Sinners is probably gonna win. Yeah, this is my pick too. I make sure of that. Best film editing. Okay. Um. Hmm. Yeah, these racing sports stuff like music, they always have a good shot of being um of winning this category. They're always nominated, but I think that this one's gonna go down to one battle. I think it's gonna be the pick, which kind of goes against what I was saying about Sinners sweeping. Maybe it won't sweep because I always see another movie winning the category. I think this one earns it though. Best costume design is gonna go to Avatar. Well, I guess maybe because I know that it's all motion capture. They're just wearing suits with uh ping pong balls all over them, but I guess they're talking about the actual design of the CGI characters costumes, which are pretty good. I don't know. really thought Sinners was gonna sweep, but I'm now just looking at it, and it just seems like it could go to anyone in every category. I gotta go with Frankenstein though. I gotta nominate this one for something. It's probably the only one I'm gonna nominate it for. So wait, did I do? Oh yeah, I did production design. It's gotta be Frankenstein. I think it's an obvious pick. Best cinematography. Okay, this one's a tricky one. Train Dreams was definitely the most beautifully shot film in my opinion. This one has like not much buzz. I'm gonna give it to Train Dreams, but yeah, maybe Sinners is gonna it's what's gonna go for. It's probably the popular answer, so I think it's gonna win. Best original song. All right, so I'm gonna go with Golden. I'm just gonna be basic, but Lied to You. I think that these two are the only ones that have a shot of winning. I don't even know why the other ones were nominated. Train Dreams is a good song. Thought this was okay, I guess. Dear Me is not a good song. I'm sorry to say. Diane Warren. This was the only reason that I watched the documentary, so I guess I should talk about it. And this and Viva Verdi. Yeah, the Diane Warren documentary was okay. It was better than I thought it would be. I had nothing. I didn't know anything about this. About Diane Warren. I didn't know she wrote all those songs. It's good. I was surprised. She is a character definitely, and yeah, it's not essential to watch, but it was entertaining enough for an hour and 30 minutes. Same goes for Viva Verdi. This one's about opera, about a bunch of old people who are living in a historic opera house built by I forgot his first name, something Verdi. Yeah, he basically built this opera house to house people who or opera singers or basically any musicians I think who just need a place to stay. And I thought it was really cool how yeah, just a bunch of elderly people are living in this retirement home, and they're still very much passionate about music and very much talented. They play it in this grand house. They practice every day. They teach new students and stuff. It's really nice film. Really charming. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, I think that Golden is gonna be the winner. It could go to I Lie to You, but I think Golden's gonna be the winner. Now that I see all these percentages, I feel like people are kind of split on what they personally think should win versus what they think is going to win, which I guess it goes hand in hand because they think that the thing that they like the most is going to win, but that's not really the case. So, yeah, I like Lie to You a lot, but I think this one's just gonna. Thought this one was a little better, and I think that this is going to win just based on cultural impact. Who knows though? Best original score. Not gonna lie, I did not really listen to the music in Begonia. I don't really remember it. Hamnet, Max Richter is kind of an obvious thing. Um, this guy is popular. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Johnny Greenwood. Dude, I think it's gonna go to Sinners. Yeah, I don't know why I picked that, but I don't know. I honestly don't remember the music in these two. I guess maybe that means it didn't impact me as much. Max Richter, I know he does a lot of the classical type of music. This was really good too, honestly, the Greenwood soundtrack. I'm just gonna go with Goranson. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, I think it's gonna win too. Documentary feature. All these were super good, to be honest. I really liked all of them. They're really enjoyable. This one's definitely the most consistent, I believe, of the categories in terms of the quality of the actual movies overall. My favorite would have to be The Perfect Neighbor, though. This one's definitely going to win. I don't think it's a competition. Thing about documentary features is it's not really a mathematical solution to decide which ones the Oscars are gonna pick, because I don't think that these movies were all nominated together in previous award ceremonies. The thing about the Oscars, if you didn't know, is that a movie's chances of winning are basically increased by the buzz they get from a previous victory and stuff. That's why there's a lot of prediction publications publishing predictions and stuff. But I feel like it's harder for documentaries and shorts because the same movies aren't nominated together. I don't think. I'm not sure about it, but Perfect Neighbor is basically the only one that I've heard of before getting into this race, and this is the only one that I've seen as well. So I think this is gonna be the pick. This is also my favorite, only if only by a small margin. Um, the Alabama Solution. This one is truly shocking. If you haven't seen it, it is on HBO. It is really good. I highly recommend it. Come See Me in the Good Light. This one nearly brought me to tears. This one's on Apple TV. And yeah, the other two are gonna be hard to find, but they're also really good. This one's about the first um female or Iranian woman to be the leader of her village, basically, the council leader, or just council. I think it's just called council. But yeah, and she's basically working on giving women more rights because of society and tradition really does not do that in Iran. So yeah, it's really interesting. I really like the subject of this movie, the Sarah, really good. And also this movie as well. Mr. Nobody Against Putin. Yeah, they're just all good movies. This one was also really interesting. I had no idea what was going on in actual Russia during the invasion of Ukraine, and it's about this guy who works at an elementary, or I think it's an all ages school. He coordinates the events, the activities that go on in the school while also serving as a photographer of these events. And he sits in classrooms and stuff, taking videos and pictures of the students as they engage in activities. It's really cool, fun role. But unfortunately, uh, after the invasion started, propaganda began to increase in his school, which is the same school that he grew up, he studied in as a kid, and he's forced to film these propaganda videos, like kids singing propaganda songs and learning lessons in classrooms, because if he doesn't, he's basically going to be treated as a traitor to the country. So yeah, he is secretly rebelling against the regime, but he has to be careful because it's risky to both him and his students because that's where he works. So yeah, this is really good. All these are super good, but I'm gonna have to give it to The Perfect Neighbor. Best animated feature. All right. All these are good except for maybe Elio. This one didn't really click for me as much. Unfortunately, it was a bomb, and even if it wasn't the greatest movie ever, I think that it's unfortunate that it didn't make much money because it's just gonna be further proof to Disney that original IPs aren't the way to go. I think Hoppers is doing better. I haven't seen that one yet, but I think it's doing better. I'm not too sure. So hopefully, yeah, they don't think that they should just keep releasing reboots, remakes, sequels, because I do want more original IPs out of both Disney and Pixar studios. And Leo was a fine movie. It's definitely just the weakest one of all. Did I pick this one? Yeah, I picked this one. Um, I'm gonna have to go to Little Amelie though because it's the most recent one that I've seen. It's definitely not gonna win. It's pretty obvious that either K-pop or Zootopia is gonna win. I think K-pop is gonna win just based on its impact. I didn't even think about Zootopia 2 like as a possible contender, but this movie did do really well in the box office, mostly thanks to China, and it had really good reviews too, pretty much on par with K-pop Demon Hunters. So it does have a shot at winning simply because of that and because it's Disney. But I think that the impact is just too strong to ignore, to set this one aside. So I think it's gonna go to it. But my pick is Little Amelie, just because I really like the animation style and the storytelling. It's just really good. I highly recommend watching it. It's kind of not really easy to find. You can rent it though. It's on VOD. But yeah, this one definitely was the one that surprised me the most. K-pop is gonna be my second pick, followed by, I think Arco and Zootopia are pretty much tied for me. Maybe I'll give the edge to Zootopia, but Arco is really good as well. It's a love letter to, yes, both Ghibli and older Disney films. I really like anything that's 2D traditional animation because it's so rare these days to find it, especially in movies. There's just a lot of 3D animation, which is fine, but I just once in a while I do want to see a good 2D animated film, and I think that this one's really good. I think that it could be a little sharper on the storytelling aspect, but overall it's good. It's kind of a shame that I had to watch the dub version. The original French version is not really widely available at the moment. But I thought that the main character, or not Arco himself, well, he was really good as well. But I thought that the girl who played, I think her name was Iris, she was really good. I was kind of surprised. Um, yeah, because usually dubs do not work for me. So this one was overall pretty good though. Best international feature. All right, so what's gonna be the winner? I think that it would have to go. Well, I mean, logically speaking, it should go to the only movie that actually is nominated for Best Picture. It just makes sense. But this one really could go to any of these. It looks like this movie was nominated for international feature. It's not gonna win, I don't think. It was just an accident. This was super good, but I don't think it has that much buzz, so I don't think it's gonna win. Secret Agent. Oh yeah, Secret Agent is also a Best Picture nom. So yeah, it could. I think it's gonna come down to these two. I don't know though. It feels weird to ignore the voice of Hin Rajab because this one was critically acclaimed. This one's the most recent one that I've seen out of the nominees. Um, and yeah, this one's super good. It basically it's about a real thing that happened in 2024. It is a docudrama about a emergency call center, and these people are trying to save the life of Hin Rajab, this 5 or 6 year old girl. I've seen both. I don't know how old she was. She was trapped in a car surrounded by her dead relatives while under fire by Israeli soldiers who were laying siege to her neighborhood, I think. And yeah, the whole thing is super stressful, and you don't see the girl in the movie because the voice that you hear is all her, the actual girl. Like every line spoken by the girl in the movie is was actually part of um the emergency call. So there's actors on the other side. The emergency call center people are all actors, but there are moments in the movie where they do put both sides of the emergency calls, um, putting the actual real life people who worked at the call center and having them um, go back and forth, instead of having one side being the actors and the other side being the actual girl. And I thought it was really good the way they edited it. It was seamless, and also the way it was shot. Um, it's really hectic, the whole movie, really crazy, like stressful. So um, I thought it was really good. Like the way it was shot should be noted. It was really nice. I just gotta say, it's a single location movie, but yeah, I was surprised at all the other stuff that was going on. You know, this is gonna be um I can't really pick this one because of sentimental value here. I'm gonna give it to sentimental value. Oh my god, 4%. Wow. I'm surprised, honestly. I thought this was more popular. Um, I think it could go to either one of these. I'm not sure about this one because I don't know. I think it was recognized in past ceremonies and stuff. So I think that this one's a hard one. This is actually probably one of the harder categories because really anything can win. I don't think these two are gonna win. Um, but I gotta make my prediction here. What's actually gonna win? Logically speaking, it has to go to a Best Picture nom, but I'm pretty sure that has gone to a non Best Picture nom in the past. So I think that this is gonna win. The Voice of Hin Rajab. I think it's just too important to ignore. It's the only one of these movies. Well, Secret Agent is based on true events, I believe, but yeah, this one's aside from that, this one's the only one that actually happened. I think Secret Agent. I don't remember. It is based on a true story, but I think that they took creative liberties because a lot of the mystery, a lot of the details of this guy's life, the main guy's life, was shrouded in mystery. So, best adapted screenplay. Mm, I don't know about this one. Bugonia, if it has a shot at winning anything, it's this one. But could go to One Battle, could go to Hamnet. I think I'm gonna go. But what do I like? What do I like? I like One Battle, but I think it could go to Hamnet. Honestly, I don't think the other ones really have a shot, or Frankenstein and Train Dreams. But Begonia is, I don't know. I think it has a little bit of a chance. I'm not sure, but I think that it's gonna go to Hamnet. Best original screenplay. Mm, okay, yeah, these are getting trickier. To be honest, the bigger they get, I'm gonna have to go with Sinners. I gotta stick to the what I said earlier. Um, I don't know why I picked that. It's not my pick. What is my pick? Mm, well, I might have to go with Marty Supreme because it's my favorite one out of these movies. But I think the Sinners is gonna win. Best Supporting Actor. Yeah, these guys are all really good, really good. I think that it's gonna either come down to Sean Penn or Delroy Lindo, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to give it to. Hmm. It's Sean Penn just because he was in the movie a lot. So, yeah, I don't know. Not really a whole lot I can say about these other than the fact that they were all really good. But I think that Sean Penn is gonna win. Maybe Delroy could get a surprise win. I was surprised that he even got nominated. I didn't think that his role was that big in the movie. But yeah, I think this is gonna edge it out though. All right, we're getting closer to the end here. Best supporting actress. All right, my pick is gonna go to her. I'm not pronouncing that name. Inga. Sentimental value. Uh, yeah, definitely. She made me cry in this movie. So I think that actually, I think she might win. Maybe One Battle just had more buzz than sentimental value overall, so she could win. Tiana Taylor, but hmm. Oh, I forgot about her. Sinner is gonna sweep. So yeah, this is my pick. Wumi. I don't know why I'm trying to pronounce these names, but yeah, this is my pick here. But I think that she's gonna win. Sinner's gonna sweep. Sticking to that. Best actor. Okay, so I think that Michael B. Jordan is gonna win, but These are all good. I know that the fan favorite is Ethan Hawke. He was super good in this movie. He basically carried the entire thing, so it's got to go to him. But all these actors are super good. So for me, it's down to these two. Honestly, everyone was good, but it's down to these two. I liked Marty Supreme better overall, but I gotta say, Ethan Hawke carried the movie. Yeah, but Michael B. Jordan is gonna take home the Oscar for this one, I believe. Best actress, yeah, these actresses were good in their respective movies. Fan favorite is Rose Byrne. That's my pick as well. Jessie Buckley is the obvious pick though for the Oscars. So yeah, it's gonna come down to her. Kind of crazy that I didn't even consider Emma Stone as a possible winner, based on history. But yeah, I don't think she really has a chance here. And Kate Hudson, I think she has even less of a chance. Although she was super good in this one as well. And yeah, Renate, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she was also good. Everyone was good, but this is my pick. This is also the fan favorite. Best director, mm, man, super hard, super hard. Because it's at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to One Battle or Sinners. If Sinner wins Best Picture, then I think Best Director is gonna go to him. But I think I'm gonna stick with my pick, One Battle, my personal favorite. I think Paul Thomas Anderson. I don't know if he's ever won an Oscar for anything, but I think he earns it here. So yeah, my best picture, it's obviously gonna be this, but I think that I thought Sinners was actually gonna be higher. I thought that was gonna be the fan favorite. The general consensus was that this was the best movie, but I guess I'll talk about the movies that I haven't talked about yet. I haven't talked about Sinners. Um, I really like this movie. I think it's actually the first movie that I've seen out of all the nominees. I'm not too sure, but it's good. I've seen it twice now. I really like the way it told its story. I like the story itself, how original it was, the production values, the music. The music is definitely key here, and the performances were spectacular. The only complaint that I really have about this movie is the pacing. I thought that the third act was just the transition from the second to third act was too quick, I thought. Yeah, the movie isn't short, but I thought that the pacing just ramped up a little bit too fast in the end, and yeah. Mm, so that's why this isn't my favorite out of the nominees. Frankenstein, it was a good movie. I didn't really like the CGI that was used to portray the animals. It was necessary for the storytelling, but it kind of did bring it down a little bit, which is not what I say about a lot of movies. Like the special effects bring it down. It was a good film though. It's kind of weird seeing Frankenstein's monster actually talk. I've not seen him speak in any other um incarnation. So I don't know if he speaks in the original novel. I don't know how accurate this movie is. I have not read the original novel. It's a good film. It just didn't hit as hard, I guess. So that's why yeah, this isn't my favorite either. Um and the rest of them, oh, F1. I gotta talk about F1. Yeah, I don't even know why this was nominated. It was kind of crazy because Joseph Kosinski, he did Top Gun Maverick, and that movie was really good. I thought that that earned its nomination, but and I think that he thought he was cooking with F1 as well, and for the most part, he was. But and when this movie came out, I could kind of see it being a contender for Best Picture, like um, a nominee that wouldn't actually win, but a nominee nonetheless. it's just not best picture material. That's really all I gotta say. It's always one or two duds in this category, and I think that this one's the only real dud, to be honest. I truly don't know why this is nominated when there's so many other movies that they could have picked instead for the final slot. Yeah, um, it's bad. If I were to rank the nominees from worst to best, obviously F1. I gotta clear my throat. F1 is my least favorite, followed by Bugonia. Bugonia was good, better than F1 obviously, but it just didn't hit as hard. That's really all I gotta say. Actually, hold on. Let me start over. F1, Frankenstein, and then Bugonia, and then Sinners. Sinners was good, not the best. Then I guess my pick will be The Secret Agent, Train Dreams, Hamnet, Sentimental Value, Marty Supreme, and then finally One Battle. Yeah, this one's really like everyone's ranking is different. That's just the way it's gonna be every year. But that's my personal ranking, and it looks like I finished my ballot. That took longer than I expected. Hopefully, I have enough time to finish the last two movies before the Oscar actually begins. But yeah, good stuff this year. Few duds, but overall, really enjoyed doing this, partaking in this death race. It's not quite over yet, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to doing it again next year. Hopefully, start it a bit sooner. So I don't know what happens here. Um, I guess you can just print it, share it on social media or whatever. Maybe I can save it to a PDF or something for just for personal purposes. But yeah, again, this is my personal picks. This isn't the actual what I think is gonna win. Not all of it. I've already mentioned that, like each category. But yeah, those that's really it. And Letterbox also has this ballot thing. I pull it up. I guess what I'm gonna do is the plan was to just fill in these circles for what I think is going to win and highlight what I think is going to win. I'm gonna skip to the end. I'm not gonna make you go through all of that because I already talked about everything in length, or at length. So yeah, this is if you want to do this super last minute, but it's a thing you can do. So thank you for watching. Looking forward to watching the Oscars this year. I gotta still set up the live stream. I'm not gonna be streaming it live. Obviously, that's illegal. But Oscars, you gotta pay a lot of money to be able to watch it. So I'm gonna look for a free trial to do that, so that I don't have to pay, and then cancel the free trial afterwards. So yeah, I'm gonna go see the last two movies. So here it is, my Oscars ballot for 2026. Again, highlighted stuff is what I think is gonna win. Stuff filled in is what I want to win. The only thing that I believe I changed is Hamnet for casting. I think Nina Gold should take the award. That's it.